This should count as the quickest exit for Carlo Ancelotti in the sites that he has managed, from Parma to Regina to Juventus to AC Milan, Real Madrid, and Chelsea, now Bayern Munich. Well, after 14 months in charge of the side, winning, of course, the non-elusive, league title, uh, he has left the club just after 3 months into the season. Welcome to another installment of Soccer Bites. We are looking at the sack of Carlo Ancelotti, nicknamed Carlito. That's his nickname, Shego. What really happened? He's not been known to have issues with players. He's worked with some of the biggest players, Roberto Baggio, Inzaghi, Zinedine Zidane. He's worked with, Cristiano Ronaldo most recently as well. But players reportedly pushed him out of Bayern Munich.
It's ironical. First of all, I mean, Carlo Ancelotti is one of the most popular football managers in the world. I think, unfortunately for him, maybe he's a mite too laid back. We all remember that Bayern had a simply disastrous preseason.
Yeah.
Even losing their own cup, the Audi Cup in Munich. But they started off relatively well. But unfortunately, over 6 games now, they've won 4, drawn 1, and lost 1. But the straw that broke the camel's back for me, literally and figuratively, was their loss to PSG. Not only they lost to PSG, the manner of the loss, and the fact that they lost to PSG of all clubs.
But that's the side he previously managed as
Yes,
well.
it is. But it's not about their old manager coming home.
Yeah.
It's about everything that PSG stand for, and everything that Bayern stands for. And they lost to, you can refer to Bayern as the aristocrats of European football, and as PSG as the noisy neighbor who moves into the neighborhood with lots of money. And making a lot of noise and trying to show that they're here to stay. And unfortunately for Bayern, they were easily beaten. And the truth of the matter is, there's been a lot of friction in the dressing room. He's tried to lower the age of the side. The old guard, the Ribery's, the Robins, the Mullers, although Muller is still a relatively young man.
You're not excited about that.
They were not excited. I love the way you put it. And as you rightly said, the what's the word? How did you put it? The non-winning the...
Yeah, non-elusive is...
No, it's there. It's obligatory. You must win. And then, they've had a bit of... They've had the Bayern hierarchy, I've had them misgivings about from when they couldn't get to what they regard as their space. That's the semi-finals of Champions League. They could only get to the finals last year. So all this, and to be honest with you, Bayern is a big club. Back in the day, you used to look at, especially you used to look at Manchester United and Arsenal still today. They were tolerant, I won't say of mediocrity, but of, that's attitude of, you can't win it all. You can't win it all the time. There are the other big teams out there, but Bayern, it doesn't exist for them. The thought of they're not winning the Bundesliga is untenable. So it's, what, you go, we'll bring somebody else in. And to be honest, that's a big club. That's a big company, because Chelsea has done it very successfully. And under that, they've won everything in football. I used to think Chelsea,
the managerial,
the merry-go-round, I used to think they were big bonkers, but it's worked for them. And and the minute you know that you're not going to perform, you're not going to rest on your laurels, you're going to be out, and that's what happens. So it's a pity, but it's going to, they say when one door closes, another one opens. So another club out there will probably be thinking of pressing the jet button for their manager and bringing.
So someone's about to get sacked in another club.
There are even rumors that Slaven Village, a guy I have a lot of respect for, a lot of time for. Wow. There are rumors that he's skating on very, very thin ice in West Ham. That if his results don't go his way very, very soon, they might press the eject button, and one day he'll just be sitting, talk to pitch side, and then he'll just disappear. Then Carlo will just.
I'm thinking of Carlo Ancelotti at West Ham. Well, the only 2 teams that are not, big clubs, so to say, Parma, Regina. The rest have been, top of the pack.
That Regina, Italian for Regina, that's.
But we want to be safe and call it Regina. Okay. So it doesn't sound like something else. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's what. What? Hey,
well, that's like Parma and Regina.
And that was when it was coming.
Yeah, when it was coming.
And then you have to look at this guy's won league titles all over Europe.
All over.
I think in 4 different for
Yes,
different countries.
he's won in England. He's won in Spain.
In
Italy,
in Germany.
in Germany.
You know, so
He's won in France with PSG.
with PSG. Yeah, so and it's one of these major achievements is 3 Champions Leagues, equaling the great Bob Paisley, you know, who won
That's
all
it.
but he's won this.
And he's one of
man.
only 6 managers to win it as a player and as a coach as well.
And that's good. So he's a fantastic. As I said, you know, I think the final straw was the loss to PSG because PSG represent for many people. I won't say the. I won't. I don't want. I say if I say the worst in football, that would be too strong, you know. But when you're literally trying to buy success, so that's an affront. In fact, an accusation could be because Bayern were on the sidelines sneering at PSG that oh, you know, you want to buy success, but Bayern at the end of the day too haven't strengthened their squad. If you look at it, they've never really successfully replaced the likes of Philippe Lam and Xavi Alonso, and they struggle.
But was it really enough? Even Chelsea had lost to PSG, which they have done. I think last season, 2 seasons ago. Would it warrant sacking of a coach?
It's not an isolated. There's, as you
An
said,
accumulation.
there's an accumulation of things. Things that have been ticking over right from preseason. Where, as I said, Bayern have probably had the worst preseason they've ever had on record.
But it's gone down to the players now. Is Carlo Ancelotti known to have issues with players? I mean, he's
Never.
worked with
Never.
big players in Chelsea. John Terry was so close to him, back then. Even DJ Drogba, and then in AC Milan as well, the Inzaghi's, and the likes, Gattuso's. They were so close. What you can say because they're Italians, but this is a man who's worked with big players and has had no issue.
I think what happened, and I read this somewhere, was that it's ironical, but apparently the Bayern middle players that heaved a huge sigh of relief when Pep Guardiola left the club now kind of miss him. Because Pep Guardiola is a martinet. He doesn't mess around. A very strict disciplinarian. He's very he's almost paranoid about how he wants it down to the minutest details. His drills, his tactics, his training sessions, highly intense. He did that at Barcelona, he did that at Bayern Munich, he's doing it at Manchester City. That's Pep's style. So they resented his style, they resented that Pep was such an in-your-face coach. But funny enough, when he left, it was okay, fine. But then Carlo Ancelotti comes in, and he's almost the opposite of what Pep. So that they feel that lack of intensity, that lack of basically, it's like maybe if I'm going to use an analogy or a metaphor for that, is maybe if you have children, one parent is very very strict, the other very so they're very soft. So the strict parents, the children will always complain about the strict parent, but the strict parents, they don't mess about with that strict parent.
Then they miss that strict parent.
When the strict parents, then it's like, you can get anything from mommy, as the case will be, at the end of the day. And then they start to misbehave. They don't do, they don't, under the strict parent, get this place tidy, do this, do that, they get it done. They'll complain, they'll mutter, they'll murmur, but they get it done. But under the so-called person that says, I believe, I give you a responsibility, I'm not going to harass you, I'm not going to hassle you. But unfortunately, he doesn't get the best of
Carlo Ancelotti, I might just go the way of he's experiencing what the likes of Louis van Gaal experienced.
No, definitely not. No, Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal was a dinosaur. Was a dinosaur. Football has passed Louis van Gaal. It's totally.
Carlo Ancelotti as well is aging as well.
No, Carlo Ancelotti is 58.
Okay.
Louis van Gaal is over 60.
60.
So people like that, like Donald Trump, they can't change. As men that can't change.
You had to bring Donald Trump.
I just
Okay, so what next for Carlo Ancelotti?
A decent job somewhere. He's not.
Do you think West Ham is a decent job?
Well, not necessarily. He might not want to go that route because the last thing Carlo Ancelotti will want is to get involved in a relegation dogfight. Okay. Considering, I don't think he's going to do a Rafa Benitez, and I have to say I respect Rafa. I didn't like him
with Newcastle.
Oh, fantastic! The very fact that he went down with them, brought them back up. Whether he's going to stay because Rafa is crazy and I walk away from them. But I think Carlo Ancelotti will sit back, and who knows, might end up at
for who gets sacked.
Who gets sacked? Because who knows? PSG. For me, I think Neymar and the Qatar people and the Cabal are coaching PSG. I think Unai Emery does have control, but you can't come out and say this is my penalty taker. You sit back and say, oh, let the players decide. That's a recipe for anarchy. So who knows? He might end up at PSG or any other big club.
Well, let's wait to find out. But in case you don't know, Carlo Ancelotti has been sacked by Bayern Munich, and we'll wait to find out where he would go next.